friends, welcome back to Kid Short Stories. If this is your first time hanging out with me, my name is Mr. Jim, and I love turning your ideas into awesome adventures. You see, today's story comes to us from Bodhi and Remi. They sent me an awesome idea for a story, and you can too. Just head over to kidshortstories.com, send me your idea, and maybe we'll turn it into an awesome adventure. Parents, this has been a phenomenal way to reduce screen time. So are you guys ready to hop into this adventure with me? Me too, let's go! Bodhi and Remi had just gotten home from school and they wanted to go exploring in the forest in their neighborhood. Have you ever gone exploring in a forest? Like, what is it that you look for when you hike into a forest looking for an adventure? I might be looking for creatures. I really like to see the creatures that live in the forest. Or I might want to try and build like some kind of fort in the forest, like with some branches and sticks and stuff. That is awesome. Well, Bodhi and Remi, they love to just go exploring in forests and see whatever kind of adventure presented itself. It was a beautiful sunny day. The sky was blue as Bodhi and Remi entered this very dark forest. Have you ever walked inside of a forest that it's like when you're outside the forest, it's daytime, and then when you walk inside the forest, it's almost nighttime? Yeah, like all the leaves are blocking the sunlight from getting in. Yeah, it can be like really thick in the forest that keeps the light out. Well, it can be a little creepy, but Bodhi and Remi have been in this forest like 100 times, and so they're not scared of it anymore. All right, Remi, what do you want to do in here? Said Bodhi. How about we build another fort? Said Remi. Well, I know we've built a couple, but we're basically like building a whole city inside of this forest with all of our forts. Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. Let's do it, said Bodhi. They started running around the forest, looking for branches and even looking for like the right spot to put this new fort. They had already built 4 forts. And like they said, they had pretty much built a city. It was pretty impressive. Hey, this looks like a pretty good spot over here, shouted Remi. Bodhi had already grabbed a whole bunch of branches and were dragging them over to where Remi was. There was a great little spot. It was kind of like in the side of a hill. There was a little small cave, I guess you could say. Not like a real cave, but more like a little indentation in the side of the hill. But it was a perfect spot for what they were looking for. As Bodhi started to lean all the branches up against this little indentation, they were both very impressed with this new fort. Whoa, this might be our best fort ever. Look! Remi crawled inside and was in awe of how awesome this fort was. And then all of a sudden, psh! Whoa, wait, is it starting to rain? Said Remi. They were feeling definitely water spraying from above. There's no way, said Bodhi. It was like completely blue sky when we came in here like 10 minutes ago. But where's that water coming from? They crawled out from under their fort and could see that there was definitely water sprinkling down from above, but it's like it wasn't coming from the sky. It was coming from somewhere else. Hey, let's run up that hill over there and get a better view of where this water is coming from, said Remi. Do you guys have any ideas where this water is randomly spraying from in the forest? I have no clue. As Bodhi and Remi ran up the hill to look around, they saw a giant dragon. I know most dragons breathe fire, but the one that they were looking at looked like it had an unlimited supply of water pouring out of its mouth. Hey you, shouted Bodhi. You're making our fort all soaking wet. Can you please stop? Holy smokes, Bodhi is braver than me. I don't know if I would talk to a giant dragon like that. The dragon turned and looked right at Bodhi and Remi. Remember, Bodhi and Remi were standing up on a hill, but they were eye to eye with this giant dragon.
Oh, hello, I'm so sorry. I just have so much water inside of me that I must spray and get out, or else I might explode,
You'll explode with water? Said Remi.
Yes, you see, I'm a water dragon, and I have to keep spraying this water all the time. I'm a really good helper. You see, I'm good at doing dishes and washing cars and making giant mud puddles. I love jumping in mud puddles.
Bodhi and Remi looked at each other. They really like jumping in mud puddles too. Have you ever jumped in a really good mud puddle? Let's say you have some rain boots on and clothes that you can get muddy, and you just jump right in the biggest mud puddle ever. Have you ever done that before? It is surprisingly messy, but it's actually really, really fun. Mr. Dragon, do you have a name? Said Bodhi.
Yes, my name is Splash.
Splash, that's a really cool name. Well, I actually have an idea of how you can use all your water. You see, we live in a neighborhood just over there full of kids that like to jump in mud puddles. And there's even a whole bunch of grown-ups with cars that really like clean cars. What do you say we make out a deal? You could come over once a day, clean everyone's cars, and make mud puddles for all the kids. How does that sound? The dragon's eyes lit up. His whole life, no one had ever wanted him around. You see, most of his other dragon friends were fire-breathing dragons, and him with spraying water, the other dragons didn't like that his water would always put out their fires. So he had a harder time making friends. But this sounded like an absolute dream come true for him.
Oh, that sounds absolutely perfect. I've always wanted to have friends to play in all of this water, and what are your names? I must know them,
asked Splash the dragon. Well, my name's Remi, and this is Bodhi, and it's really great to meet you. Well, why don't you come on over to our neighborhood right now, and we can get to work with some awesome fun.
That sounds perfect. Let's go.
Bodhi, Remi, and their new friends, Splash the dragon, headed on over to the neighborhood. First, Splash the dragon made the ginormous mud puddle that he had talked about, and then he got to work cleaning all the cars in the neighborhood. Whoa! That is so cool! I wish I had a water spraying dragon in my forest. Well, this may be the end of this adventure, but I'm pretty sure that Bodhi and Remi are going to have a ton of fun with their new dragon friend Splash. The end. Great job! You listened all the way to the end, and you know what time it is? It's time for good shout-outs! I want to say hey to Riley from Virginia, Cy from Las Vegas, Kenley from Charlotte, North Carolina, Emerson and Lincoln from Kansas City, Lewis from Washington, D.C., Sienna from New Jersey, Silas from Southern Illinois, and Niev from Sydney, Australia. I'm so glad that you're all in the Kid Short Stories family. And on our spy team, we could not stop Dr. Stinky Breath and his crew. Without you, my friends, will you have a super duper day. And I will see you next time. Bye.